You haven't played Kirby Air Riders? Well, you're missing out. Here's why. Kirby Air Riders is the sequel to the Nintendo GameCube game Kirby Air Ride. It's a racing game where you play as different Kirby characters while using vehicles called air ride machines. Each character and machine have their own gimmick that makes them unique, but I'll get to that a little bit later. The game can also be a bit chaotic at times, but it's still super accessible and easy to play, and I'll explain why later in the video, so keep watching. But first, let's jump into what the gameplay is like. There are 4 main modes you can play. Air Ride, the mode for doing races where you'll find power-ups and enemies sprinkled in to add a little bit more spice to the races. Top Ride, which is similar to Air Ride, but the camera is above the racers with a top-down perspective and adds in some items you won't find in Air Ride mode. Then there's City Trial, a mode where you start in a city and collect upgrades to boost the different attributes of the Air Ride machine you're using. After the time limit for collecting upgrades is up, you'll take on a challenge with your souped-up machine. And finally, there's Road Trip, which is pretty much the game's story mode, but more details on that later on. Earlier, I mentioned different characters and machines have their own unique traits, so I want to explain that a bit more. Just like in the original Air Ride, there are multiple characters, also called riders, to choose from. But this time around, the roster is much bigger, and just like each Air Ride machine, each character has stats that affect the riding experience. They also have special abilities they can use during races after filling up their special meter. Specials are a new mechanic added to the game which add a bit more variety to the races. Some specials will give a speed boost, attack other racers, and so much more. And regarding the Air Ride machines, those are unique in their own way. Some are good in the air, some are good at taking hits, and some bite people. And not only that, there's a wide selection of machines to choose from, much more than the previous game, so you're sure to find your favorite rider and machine combo at some point. The game also has local and online multiplayer. I've played just the online as of right now, and it runs pretty well. I've only had a handful of times where I've had issues connecting or a full-on disconnect. I also want to mention that the game uses 2 buttons and the control stick to play, which makes it incredibly easy and accessible if you don't want to have to memorize a whole bunch of button inputs, and it also makes it really great for anyone who isn't used to playing racing games or video games in general. The game's soundtrack is amazing. My favorite track so far has to be Waveflow Waters. And what I also love is that each track fits perfectly with its respective course. They obviously put a lot of effort into making each track have a specific vibe and energy. There's also music from the GameCube game, so if you want a nice slap of nostalgia to the face, you'll definitely get it. The game doesn't just sound good, it's really good looking too. Each course looks amazing, and just like the music, a lot of detail was put into making those courses. Even the main menu looks good. And when I say the game looks good, I don't just mean graphical fidelity. I'm also talking about the visual charm the game has. The visuals and animations have a very energetic and cool flair to them. Starting a race, finishing a race, the results screen, and so much more have this really cool, high-energy aesthetic to them. This is mostly because of Bandai Namco helping out with the game's development. They are very much known for adding style and flair to the animations and games they work on. And if you end up playing the game, you'll definitely notice some similarities to Smash Ultimate, which they also helped to develop. So I want to go over the road trip mode I talked about earlier. Like I said, it's the game's story mode, and introduces the lore of the Air Ride machines and their origins. But don't worry, I won't spoil any story elements for you. I'm just going to talk about the basic mechanics of how the mode works. You start off by choosing your character and then getting a warp star. From there, you start your journey. While driving, you can choose multiple paths where you'll find challenges, items, shops, bosses, or new machines. As for the challenges, those span from doing a race in Air Ride to taking out enemies in battle, so there's a lot of variety. And if you've played Air Ride, Top Ride, and City Trial already, you'll feel very comfy going from challenge to challenge. As for the rest of Road Trip mode, I'll let you find out what happens on your own. Along with Road Trip, so many new things were added to the game. You've got My Machine, where you can customize your Air Ride machines, which honestly gives the game a different feel and really makes the machines you get feel like they're an extension of your personality. Besides that, they also added a new mechanic to the races called Star Slide. The way it works is that every Air Ride machine leaves a trail of stars that riders can drive through to gain a speed boost. It functions similarly to slipstreaming in Mario Kart, but the main difference is that the trail extends way further behind the racer. It makes the game feel a little more intense because it lets players who are in the back have a chance to get ahead of the other racers or even jump into first place. It also means that whoever's in first place won't have the luxury of just chilling out thinking they can be in the lead forever. It's also possible to get a speed boost from attacking enemies with a quick spin, copy abilities, or inhaling them. What's also a nice addition is all of the accessibility features the game has now. So if you're someone who has photosensitivity, color blindness, or an aversion to having too many big fat and wild effects on screen, you can reduce or modify those effects and settings. There's obviously so much more that's new to the game, but I don't want to spoil everything. Overall, I'd say Kirby Air Riders is a great improvement over the original and adds so much new value while staying true to the game's roots. If you're thinking of picking up the game, it's only on Switch too. And remember to subscribe to Rhinos Inc. Gaming for more game recommendations. I'm DJ Raviesta. That's gonna be it for me. The Rhinos are watching. Good night.